Well, great morning, everyone. Let's go ahead and do the Bird Children Oracle, and let's see what the topic is today. Give them a ruffle shuffle. And the topic for today is uncertainty. It's a reading about uncertainty. So let's go ahead and we're going to use the Unfolding Path Tarot. Oops, dropped one. Kind of need that. Oop, maybe. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and give them a ruffle shuffle. And we'll look and see what it says about uncertainty. There go the true troublemakers out there. So first thing we have coming out when it comes to uncertainty is the moon. Now some people get a bit mentally unstable when it's a full moon because it works on your blood system, etc. So it's about watching your emotions and the world happenings, your emotions when it comes to the world happenings. Uncertainty. So some people are getting a bit emotional when it comes to all the things that are taking place now. Energy coming into it is not wanting to deal with it. Just being absolutely dissatisfied with things. Dissatisfaction. Now this could be dissatisfaction with family, emotions when it comes to the family. Maybe you are in a family where you feel like you have to walk on eggshells. See what's happening today. Message about an action. And where things are moving to. World situation, family situation, where things are moving to. Again, emotional, just not wanting to deal with some things. Feeling like you are having to protect. Sometimes maybe feeling like you're kind of pushed back. And just in a cycle of pain. The challenge is being in a cycle of pain and feeling like one has to protect. So it's about wanting some compassion, okay? Holding on to your emotions in a state of love, but feeling like you are out in the cold. Okay, so maybe having a bit of difficult times when it comes to being able to have that compassion or give that compassion. Outside influence is about judgment. Judgments and loss, feeling of loss, being judged, feeling loss. So that puts you in a state of uncertainty. So let's go back and we're going to pull what's driving these things. So when it comes to the moon, okay, this maybe it's a bit of toxic emotionality or something, and the world situation, it's about controlling the actions. Okay? Are you able to control the actions when it comes to the state of the world, the things going on? Okay? The things that are in your world, perhaps? And then next, it's about what's being offered or not offered, as the case may be, when it comes to the family dynamic, not wanting to deal with it. When it comes to what you're holding to, what's of value, seeing what's of value, the message about the action and continuing to move forward. Okay, the evidence in hand, the concrete things that you have, that you're feeling like you are having to be defensive about, going through this pain cycle. And an ending, feeling out in the cold when it comes to compassion, etc. And figuring out the next move that's driving the judgment and feeling of loss. Okay? So going through all of these emotional dramas. So let's go ahead and we're going to pick these up and we're going to do a clarifying read. But this is about dealing with all of the things that are going on now and just feeling like perhaps you're in a family, you're not being supported. You're just not feeling any love or compassion. And then so for you to give love and compassion at this point in time is difficult. Okay? Because you're just feeling uncertainty with what's going on in the world or what's going on in your family or what's going on, surrounding you, and just being pulled here and there by your emotions, which are driving your actions. So let's see what the clarifying read is going to say on this when it comes to all this uncertainty and instability of stuff that's going on. Give these a good ruffle shuffle. Hopefully this is making sense to you somewhere. So dealing with uncertainty. So the center of it all, we have, this feeling of loss. Not seeing what you have here, but just focusing on the loss. The uncertainty, the loss. So what are the seeds that you're planting? What for the harvest? The seeds that you plant are the harvest you're going to get. Now, when you are also doing this, we see the sunflowers here, the harvest. Are you planting seeds of happiness and stability, looking forward to something well? Or are you just focusing on loss and the poor me drama? Okay? When you're gardening and doing that, you also have to pull the weeds. Are you pulling the weeds as you're gardening? Yeah, and giving the sunshine that's needed, okay? Rather than going into the dark and the depression and just focusing on loss. See what you still have available that you're not looking at. Again, and plant seeds that are going to yield a good harvest rather than planting weeds, because that's not going to help anything. It's about charging forward with getting some new information in hand, a new mental state, changing that energy. Again, ending that feeling of loss and drama and looking more towards some positivity Find the positive there somewhere to strengthen yourself, okay? So some things need to be ended when it comes to this feeling of uncertainty and loss. You need to surround yourself with better things. Be willing to move and change that dynamic to get to a better place mentally. Mentally, again, you need to plant better seeds. If you want a good harvest, you have to plant good seeds and weed the garden, get more information, okay? In order to feel like you are able to control what's taking place around you. Now, maybe you can't control the outer circumstances of things, but look towards controlling and ending things you need to end when it comes to going into a negative spin cycle. Focus on the desires, the things that you want to have happen, okay? Rather than this depression of what I've lost or what I don't have, etc. Find something that you can strengthen yourself with to feel like you have a bit more control and continue to go forward to something better. It's about tempering. There may be some things you have to temper and bring forward a new action, okay? It's not always going to be easy. You need to continue to go forward and to make the changes needed rather than allowing yourself to be manipulated, so that you can, no matter the circumstances, you can come out with a victory, continuing moving forward. Even in the midst of the pain and the drama that's going on, you have to have this stance in hand, this knowledge in hand of transformation, that everything in the transient realm is going through transformation, okay? And so put in something new, concrete. Start a new path. Be willing to start a new path, rather than keeping yourself stuck in uncertainty. Nothing's ever really certain in life. We deal with uncertainty daily. We don't know what's going to happen in the world, families, etc., all of these things that are going on, and we can either choose to go into the state of depression, poor me cycle, and beat that drum for all it's worth, or we can start to plant new seeds to have something look for the beneficial rather than the things that are going to put you in that pain cycle. We can always find a silver lining somewhere, but sometimes it takes a while. You can be going through one of those really toxic family situations, but out of that toxicity, it can cause you to change things. Like maybe you're growing up in a family where you have somebody there that's a total racist, and it's just, that that's absolutely the opposite path that you want to go on, but it may take time later down the road to see that influence there was really instrumental in you changing your life and seeing the way that you wanted to go. Okay, so sometimes we are in the midst of this negative drama, and that will cause this change in us to be something other than that, okay? And so we look at that and say, well, if I weren't in that drama, maybe I wouldn't have changed. Maybe I would have, done something else. So again, it might take some time later down the road before you can look back at these things and see how some of the negative that you went through really spurred you to go more in a positive direction. So on that note, I'll leave that here. Hopefully somebody's gotten something out of this, and we'll see you online.